Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Rolson here. Today I'm going to talk about why, if you want to behave differently, if you want to do something differently in your life, you should take a look at your values. If you're new to this channel, my name is Rolson and I have a six-figure online business which consists of two different websites that I run with my business partner. And also, I invest in crypto and in stocks. So if you would like to follow along on that, you can subscribe to the channel and also leave a like on the video if you want to make me smile, because that does make me smile. The advice that I want to give you in this video, this is something that I have been doing continuously. If I feel like I'm getting out of rhythm with what I really want out of my life, or I just feel like I'm not really happy about my life at the moment, I kind of sit down and look at my values. And what I'm looking for is how I spend my time, because there can be a difference between what you think is your values or what you think should be your values, and then how you're acting in life. And what you need to figure out is where does these things not match. So to be practical here, I like practical advice. What I do in my life to kind of straighten myself out when I feel like I'm not really in tune with my values is that I make a list. And I make two lists actually. I make one list of my values. This is just basically what I want my values to be. And it's a prioritized list. So I have my number one value here, and 2 and 3 and 4. And over here on the other side, I take a look at my time. And I just take a real look at what am I actually spending my time on? What is the number one thing that I'm spending my time on? What is the second thing, the third thing, the fourth thing? And I kind of look at, does this make sense? Am I actually doing the actions that match with my values? And I also want to say it's not that, it doesn't have to be one-to-one, that if your number one value is your family, let's say, fam, I'm just going to, oh my God, I cannot write on this, fam. Should most of your time be spent with your family? Well, not necessarily, because if you have another priority here that says like ambition, for example, you have an ambition that you really want to go for. Jesus Christ, this is bad. I hope you guys can read this. Ambition. You might have to work more on your ambition than you actually spend time with your family. But the important thing here, what I'm looking for when I do it, is to see, does television show up here? TV. Does gaming show up here? Like, where are these things that are just like pastime activities showing up in terms of where I spend my time? Looking at social media might be another thing. And I kind of just try to align things as best I possibly can. Because no one can spend like 80% of their time just enjoying life with their family if they also have to make money. Now that can change. Like if I actually get the life that I want out on the farm, I might be able to not spend a lot of time chasing money. And I might be able to kind of actually spend the majority of time with my family. And so at that point, I can kind of align. And also that makes it so that my vision is in line with my values. I want to spend the majority of my time with my family on the farm. But that's not possible for me right now, because right now I need to work to get this ambition to be a reality. So I want to give you an example of something that I've changed recently where I discovered that this is a value problem. This is not just a problem of me having a bad habit. This is actually a problem of me valuing something that I should not be valuing. And it was sleep. I've made a lot of videos about sleep. Or not a lot. I've made a few videos about sleep, but I've talked about a lot about sleep in several of my videos. And it's because sleep is very important, but especially for me, sleep has been a problem. Almost always, almost my entire life. I haven't slept enough. And my problem is that I have a really hard time going to bed early. And usually I wake up early, and especially now where I have a child, it's not a possibility to just sleep in until 9 o'clock. She wakes up. Today she woke up 6:30. And so I just have to get up. And if I've gotten to bed like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock at night, I'm going to be fucking exhausted at 6:30 in the morning. And I'm not going to be like happy dad with my daughter. And that makes me feel bad. It like makes me wish that I had gone to bed earlier. And so it just starts this really negative loop. I start up the day really in a really bad way when I go to bed too late. And really what I have found out now recently is that it's a value problem. It's because I value staying up late. And it stems all the way back to my childhood, which most things do. As all kids, there were things that when I think back on them, I thought that my parents should have done differently. And I think that they did their best, but no one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. And one of the things that I think that they did wrong, for me specifically, because my personality type, was that they had insanely strict rules. And I'm a very logical person, so I will analyze things and rip everything apart until I reach the first principles of something and be like, does this really make sense? And so I had a strong wish to create my own rules of life because I look at life and I deconstruct everything and I analyze it. And then I put everything back together and say, okay, this is the way that I think that the world makes sense. And then I create my own rules around that. And they had very, very strict rules. And they were just like, these are just the rules. You just have to follow them. You don't have to feel like they make sense to you. That doesn't really matter. You should just follow these rules. And so my response to that was to break the rules without them knowing it. And one of the ways that I did this was I got really good at staying up late, because when everyone else in the house had went to bed, I was free to do whatever I wanted to do in life. And so I connect staying up late with this feeling of freedom and this feeling of being able to do whatever I want to do. And there's also a kind of cowardice in it, because I'm hiding away from confrontation, because in the back of my mind I'm thinking, well, as soon as everyone has gone to bed and I'm just up late, I can do whatever the fuck I want. So I don't have to discuss with Anna, my fiance, for example. I don't have to make an agreement with her about how we should spend our evening, because I can just spend my evening with her. And then when she's gone to bed, I can do whatever the fuck I want. But that takes away from my sleep, which is a huge problem for my health and my cognition. And it starts my day off in this bad way. And it has all of these bad ripple effects for me. So what I had to do was to realize I am valuing this staying up late for the wrong reasons, because of this childhood trauma that I have. I've just carried this into my adult life without questioning it, and I'm still using it, and I'm being a coward by not wanting to take the discussion with Anna about maybe tonight I want to spend my evening doing something else than talking to you, for example. Because I also value our relationship a lot, I also want to spend quality time with her. But that's not all that I want to do with my evenings. Sometimes I also want to do some research or do some work or edit a YouTube video or do something else. And so I have to make agreements with her, and we have to negotiate about how do we spend our time best. And I was avoiding that by just going to bed later than her. And so this was a value problem. And so aligning my values with what I actually wanted in my life, which was one of the things was better sleep, by actually figuring this whole thing out, that this came from my childhood, that I was carrying it into my relationship now, that I was being a coward, that I was using it for this purpose, that I was actually getting something out of it, of going to bed late. And that was why I kept repeating the behavior. That allowed me to finally say, I'm going to value sleep, and I'm going to value our relationship, and I'm going to value making these compromises, having these discussions, negotiating about how we should spend our time, instead of valuing this freedom that I have for a couple of hours after everyone else has gone to bed, because it's really not good for me. It doesn't align with the things that I want out of my life. Now, I want to say that this does not feel good initially. Like saying goodbye to something that you have been valuing for many, many years feels bad. It feels like losing a part of yourself. It kind of feels like breaking up with a girlfriend or something like that, because you're losing I'm losing that freedom at the end of the day that I have valued so highly throughout all my life, basically. I'm saying goodbye to that, and that hurts. And it hurts every time you have to make that decision to not do that anymore. It doesn't feel good. But that's exactly why you have been repeating this bad behavior over and over, because that is what feels good to you in that moment. But on the long term, it feels bad because you keep starting out your day in this wrong way, and there's all of these other side effects to your health and everything else. And so the right choice is to break up with that girlfriend, to break up with that value, that bad habit that you have, and take the pain and accept it. Accept that this feels bad. And it's okay, because it's like breaking up with someone where you're not in a good relationship with them, and you know it, and you know you should break up. That still doesn't feel good when you do it. It feels bad, and there's a period of mourning because you're losing this person that has meant a lot to you through a lot of time, and you need to allow yourself to go through that and not like push those feelings down, but be in it and accept it, and it will pass. That is why, if you want to change your behaviors, you need to take a close look at your values, what you're valuing and why, and how you should maybe change those values. And it doesn't necessarily feel good, but that's life, right? Everything that is good usually also has some bad with it. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll just see you guys in the next video.